Hello and welcome everyone, and welcome back to Formula FG. We finally made it to Season 5. So excited. I'm Aiden Karen and I'm your host this evening for the Season 5 Australian Grand Prix, the opening round of the season as per usual. And good to be back. It's fantastic. Several times I've talked about, what the commentary is going to be like this season and how it's going to go, and maybe being a bit unsure, but as it gets closer and closer, you always start to get more and more excited. So just fantastic to be here and getting the show on the road. So with that, let's go straight into the qualifying and have a look through that. Rui Martins, first time at 2KF1, and turns up with pole position for the team's home race. Getting that, compared to the next three drivers, somewhat comfortably by 0.07 of a second from Jack Lasky. He's also making his DTK debut this race. And then the two teammates, McNamara and Harvey, on the second row of the grid. McNamara just 7 thousandths behind Lasky, and not too far away from making it 2KF1 front row. Something definitely not been seen around here for, I'm not sure if ever. Going past the top four, Manolis Sigalakis jumped ship from 2KF1, goes to Apex, who weren't sure if they were going to be on the grid, but good to see them turn up. And he is a real chance today, starting from 5th place, but has a lot of race pace. He gets a good start, picks off Harvey or McNamara. He is a real chance here. If he moves backwards, well, he's got 58 laps, but he's not going to do himself any favours. So definitely watch Sigalakis. Ben Utsa, the returning BRT, the all-conquering, except for in FFG, but the all-conquering nonetheless, starts from 6th. Carlos Rodriguez, the Challenger Racing Engineering. He's driving his own car. Can he take a victory today? It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen that happen. Aiden Karanen, of course, the first race ever in FFG. Season 1, Round 1 for 2KF1 started from 9th, I believe it was, or maybe 10th. And ended up taking the victory. Carlos, of course, using Cosworth engine here as well, starting from 7th. Might be a bit harder for him, but nonetheless, he will be giving it his all. Luke Rosella for Prefeli. Prefeli, of course, coming out of Razor. More or less the same team. They look very similar, but a change of colour, change of name, change of driving lineup. Team boss Matt Bailey looking for a result, and Luke Rosella, well, they might be able to give him one, starting from 8th. Then we have Rob Sharp in the new Optima. That is the team of Orjit Mishra, who has jumped into being a team manager as well. And then Damien Sun, one of the new drivers, one of the rookies to be gracing the grid here today. He'll start in 10th. Other rookies mentioning that, Hugo Rossello, probably minced that name nonetheless, for Apex, starting in 12th. Matthew Allington, another one of the driver managers, well, the second driver manager here today for Fantastic. He starts from 15th. Jordan Bradford for Falcon in 16th. Chris Guardian for Fantastic in 18th. Joseph Wright in 19th for Raven West. And Toto's Danny will be starting in 21st for the Karanen Motorsports squad. A couple of returning drivers as well. Tim Engbrink, once again, Karanen Motorsport. He'll be starting from slap bang last, unfortunately for him. We also see Andrea Dovizioso make his return to the series for Prefeli. He'll be starting in 14th. And other than that, enough chitter-chatter, and let's get this race underway. This will be the Australian Grand Prix. And welcome now everybody to the grid then for the Australian Grand Prix, and we can see them lining up now. We're already up to 4 lights, we're up to 5 lights, and we are underway with Season 5. So far, it looks like it is a good start there for Martins on the inside. He might be bringing McNamara with him as well. Down the inside of Lasky, he will take. Fantastic line there through the first corner. And as simple as that, and he is gone. Lasky, meanwhile, has been able to hold on. Harvey up into third. McNamara shuffled down into fourth. He's got to be careful. Utso is looking threatening. He's going to have a little look there towards the inside. Won't be able to find too much there. Just backing off then. So Utso to fifth. Sharp has found himself up into sixth out of nowhere. Really good start from him. Rosella there in eighth. Sigalakis shuffled back. Rodriguez and Sun both the challengers. And then for the most part, I think everyone behind that is more or less still running in order. But Rui Martins then taking the opportunity with two hands, bolting away, and now Utsa maybe having a little look there onto McNamara, not going to find anything happening. And it'll be Sharp now in the Optima. It's obviously a placeholder livery for them this weekend. But what a fantastic looking grid. That is absolutely my first feeling of this season. Great looking grid, lots of different cars, shapes, sizes, and colors as well. This car here, the fantastic racing team entry. Definitely one of the more colorful ones. Works very nicely with the shape, I have to say. Here's Sigalakis in 8th. Doesn't want to be bottled up here for too long. Will be wanting to try to make his way forwards, that is for sure. Unsurprisingly, Rui Martins there. Picking up the lead time here is Rosella. Down the inside at the first corner, a little bit of a touch there onto Sharp, and not too much to have to worry about. Actually, no, Rosella might have gone around. Yeah, he has, unfortunately for him. It can often happen. Yeah, just a little bit of a touch there. Really unfortunate for him. Spins around. Luckily, no one is collecting him. He'll flick it around and get it going again, but what a real disappointment for him. Would have been feeling pretty good about his chances here. First home race of the season for the Australians. Of course, there will be the Pacific Grand Prix in Adelaide at the end of the season, but for now, it's here in Melbourne. Sunny day, no sign of any sort of clouds or rain. So we should be seeing a dry Grand Prix through to the end. At the moment, here's the DTKs in formation, chasing down Rui Martins. I want to get onto that as quickly as possible as Utsa looking, trying to get his way past that 2KF1. That BRT incredibly wide. Really easy to defend with, really difficult to overtake with. And it's a double-edged sword for him, I guess. So Rob Sharp is still in 6th place. Lasky going to take fastest lap of the race so far. Have a little bit of a look at the fuel loads, and you can see Harvey is running lighter, or McNamara and Utsa. McNamara spears straight off the track. Utsa has spun. McNamara will come back on in 5th place. Will probably end up losing a 2nd position to Sigalakis, I would imagine. As Rodriguez maybe going to have a look down the inside. Take 2 at once. He gets past Sigalakis. Down the inside here at turn 3. Going to make the move stick. Yes, he will. Leading manager driver, and he will sneak there up into 5th place, doing nicely, up 2 positions. Sharp at the moment up 5, benefiting hugely from that collision there. McNamara, Sigalakis, Damien Sun moving up a little bit. Burner, Stefan Burner, haven't spoken much about him. He's moved to BRT during the off season, away from NTEC, that unfortunately did have to close down. No doubt looking forward to having a good chance here. Hugo Rossello, newcomer to the simulated career, very well respected though by his peers before joining. See how he's going to get on, currently in 10th. Nathan Corns has made his way forwards, that is for sure, up 7 spots at the moment. But has himself a puncture just as we were talking about him. He's going to have to limp back around.
Try and get back.
Oh, he's off the circuit there. Is he going to get back on, or is that going to be the first retirement of the season? It's definitely looking like that could be the case. There is Luke Rossello. We're seeing Ben Utzer will overtake Corns, and that is actually it. So the puncture must have broken something, because he is out. Not the way that Nathan Corns would have been wanting to start his season, but he doesn't have to go too far to get home, I guess. So Lasky does have small fuel advantage. He's running a little bit lighter than Martins. Rob Sharp is actually the lightest of the top four. Finds himself 4 seconds behind Harvey in basically no man's land. McNamara now just a little bit of breathing room there on Sigalakis. We'll go back to the front. Here's Tim Engbrink running in the new Karanen Motorsport car. Used to seeing Aidan Karanen involved with 2KF1, but in the past 2 seasons has actually found himself nowhere near his team, driving for Razor last year and then thrust into the team management role yet again, starting up a new team. And for them, this race hasn't started, well, the weekend hasn't started too well for them, starting in 21st and 22nd, but the only way is forwards, and in fact they're both up 1 position on Nathan Corns, thankfully. He started in 20th, so he's down 2. Could be worse for him, I guess. Because there you have it, Rob Sharp, I'm talking about him being the lightest fueled, and that is indeed the case. Going to try to slowly make his way forward, Sharp, but DTK is at the moment. We'll see. In fact, we'll see Ben Utzer set the fastest lap, so really sad for him that, you know, he didn't need to, both him and McNamara didn't really need to challenge that hard at the start of the season. It's 3 laps. It's the 3rd lap of the season, boys. Like, there's plenty of sheep stations to play for later on. And unfortunately for Ben Utzer, it's not worked out well for him, as here are the 2 Falcons. Jordan Bradford, rookie teammate to Tapio Rinyaho, who was runner-up last season. Defending Constructors champions are this team. They've got themselves, they must be feeling pretty confident from what I've heard, that they've got the opportunity to move forwards in this race. Here is Andrea Dovizioso now. A little bit of a battle pack forming here. Dovizioso going to have a look down the inside. Nothing happening there. Got to be careful that he doesn't get himself into trouble, as Daniel Harvey definitely getting... Sharp is definitely catching up to this leading trio. We'll see in a second. Hovering around 4 seconds at the moment, but he's making up his time in the back of the circuit, it seems. For DTK this year, they have moved over to the Tier 1 Renault engines. See how it works for them. Of course, they will be mainly remembered for all the success that they had with Toyota. At the moment, they are in a lean patch, and this is, at the moment, probably one of the best results, or they're on course for one of the best results that they've had in seasons. I'm not sure from the top of my head how many times they've had double podiums, how many times they've been in real chances for the win. I can't imagine since season 2 that they've been in this position that often. They've been just grabbing a couple of podiums here and there, as McNamara under pressure there from the incredibly wide and somehow indestructible Apex. Very menacing looking car. It's also going to be really, really difficult for me this season. I'm going to have to pay a lot of attention, because both the Raven West and the Apex rather, oh, they're going to do my head in, that is for sure. Here's Martins at the front of the field then. Life seems to be going well for him. For 2KF1 this year, of course, they did have Jamie Cox, Season 2 champion, leading the team rather. He was the manager, taking over from Aidan Keranen. Could see that his love for the sport, he may have won that title in Season 2, Jamie Cox, but his love for the sport seemed to be waning by the time that he stepped into the manager's role. As McNamara going a little bit wide there. Loses the position to Sigalakis and loses a bit more time as well. He's got to be careful. There's that Damien's son not too far behind. Jamie Cox didn't seem to be fully committed to the project, and at the end of the season decided that it would be easier for him to step down and step away from the sport. Incredibly saddening to hear, as Daniel Harvey, we're seeing on the telemetry maybe a problem. It's a loose wheel.
Try and get back.
He's not too far away from the pits, but this is going to ruin the strategy there for the DTK team. We've seen a puncture for Corns and now a loose wheel for Daniel Harvey. It's getting around. Rob Sharp might just be held up a little bit here. There you go, Daniel Harvey gets into the pits. He should be fine. Back to the front of Rudy Martins, but as we were talking about, 2KF1 now run by Aaron Reed, and that is, in the context of this race, actually quite important, as Aaron Reed was, in recent times, a DTK driver. Has been associated, one of the founders of 2KF1, Aaron Reed, but hasn't had the chance to drive in FFG or be associated with the 2KF1 team. Is now in that position, leading the team, and has led them to pole position in his first race in Melbourne as well, which he'll no doubt be happy about. And he won't be happy about seeing his former team, the menacing yellow of DTK, bearing down on his driver, and it is Lasky that is definitely catching up here. So with no worry about his teammate behind him, he's put the hammer down a little bit. He is running away with it. Harvey, meanwhile, does seem to be back out in 21st, as you can imagine. And that is Tim Engbrink, just ahead of Luke Rosella here. Martins here. Through the opening curves now, has to be a little bit careful. Approaching a sixth of the race distance. Lasky right behind him. This would seem to be just the single stop race. And it would be worrying to have Lasky go past so early on. Difficult races. Here is Jordan Bradford. There's Dovizioso, I think, making a move on him. Hasn't worked out there for the Italian. What has happened with Bradford? He was right on the back of Tapio Rinho, so he must have just lost a little bit of time at turn 1 or somewhere around there. Because now he has Dovizioso, Guardian, Saeed, and Wright. Right, just struggling to hold on to this battle pack at the moment, but even Saeed slowly dropping off Guardian too, but Dovizioso really pressing on, trying to put the pressure on rookie Bradford. Dovizioso, we haven't seen him for a while, but Melburnians will fondly remember him for his efforts in Season 2. Picking up an incredibly unlikely victory, and I think it was the second and final win for Viper. Going back quite a long time now. But he returns this season with Prefeli, which of course emerged from the Razor team. Matt Bailey still in charge, and you can see that there are a lot of marks of the old Razor team still. Even looking at this car, the car looks very similar. They've been opting for a continuously building upon the previous car approach. Sponsors remain the same and whatnot, but otherwise it seems like a fresh start for that team now. Prefeli. Here is the other Prefeli. Rosella having a look there, not going to find it. Further up, and now seems like Bradford's just gotten away a little bit. Now Guardian going to be just chasing the back of Dovizioso. Has to be careful. Now Lasky back at the front has really caught up to the back of Martins there. Interested to see what's going to happen. Here's Engbrink. Oh, Rosella. That's one hell of a mirror seen on the opposite side of the car. But we'll go with it. Clearly Keranen Motorsport opting to keep their drivers on their toes. Up ahead you can see Engbrink's teammate Totos and Danny. A bit further up, got a bit of a fight on his hands, and talking about a fight on his hands, Martins now could be very important if he's looking to pick up a first victory. He's going to have to stay ahead here of Lasky, or he's going to have to at least minimize, if Lasky gets past it, minimize the damage. Lasky is running a little bit lighter, but track position is key around here. Now down the inside, Guardian looking to get past Dovizioso, just not happening there. Got to be careful because Saeed is there, ready to pounce. Lasky, meanwhile, how is he going to do it? Oh, Martins there being a little bit defensive into the chicane. Lasky comes sweeping through there. Has a good run there on the Portuguese driver. Down the inside goes Lasky. We don't see it. Martins though holding on the outside. Runs a little bit wide, but keeps his momentum up. And he will keep the position. Great driving by both drivers. Now they've got to be careful though, because Rob Sharp in the red rocket of an Optima catching up to them at a rate of knots as Totos Dani can't quite get it done. He's looking menacing though at the moment, the Hungarian. Back to the front, Lasky here. Looking from behind. You'll see Rob Sharp. There he is. Definitely they don't have much up their sleeve, these two, before it does become a three-way battle. It's also important to realize that it'll become a three-way battle and there is more drivers always catching up. As in the background, Danny's still not able to make the move stick. I believe that was on Allington. Martin's still holding position. Again, running a little bit defensively through the chicane. That may give another opportunity to Lasky as they come down to the 90 degree. We won't see it just yet. Saeed trying to find a way past Guardian there. Doesn't get out of the corner very well, and Joseph Wright might be in a position here to punish him for it. Martins has held on to that place. As, oh, here we go. 4 drivers in the matter of few meters there. That's not going to work out. 2 Karenins in there. Utsa has gotten past Rosella. You can see Harvey in the background here. Look at him go. He is really pushing it at the moment. Trying to make up all the lost time, but it's not going to be that easy. He's going to have to get through quite an angry battle pack there. Has to catch up and get past him, and I just don't feel like it's going to happen. The Falcons at the moment. Jordan Bradford is running incredibly light at the moment compared to a lot of other drivers. One of the lighter ones going around, and yet he's just not getting anything done, especially not on his teammate Rinyaho, and they're not making much forward progress at the moment. The second apex, Rossello has found himself into 9th. Burner in 8th as well. Damienson still going. McNamara in 6th, not going anywhere. Sigalakis trying to close down on top of Carlos Rodriguez. Rob Sharp, and then we come back to the battle for the lead. Rui Martins and Jack Lasky. Lasky maybe has another opportunity here. Gonna have a look down the inside. He has a peek. Martins though still on the outside and still holding and still holds it. Lasky just not willing to take too much of a risk, and now Sharp is really right on the back of them. These two not realizing that they really do need to get on with the job. Sharp's catching them. Rodriguez is there, and Sigalakis, the real danger for all 4 of these drivers ahead of him. Has a strong car in that Apex Porsche. And he's going to be wanting to make the most of it. McNamara just struggling to keep touch. And you sort of see the rest of the top 10 just sort of petering out. It's Jordan Bradford. Maybe you have to be asking the question, should the team have been stepping in at Falcon? Telling Rinyaho just move aside, let Bradford try to take some more positions ahead of him. It's definitely not working for him, that is for sure. Back at the front. Nearly a quarter of the way through this race then. Martins this time holding a bit more speed through the chicane, and Lasky not really doesn't have much, but this time actually Martin's going defensive into the 90 degree. Interesting choice there, not sure if it was necessary. Here is Rob Sharp. Winners all up. Jordan Bradford. Oh, here we go. There's a bit of smoke there from Rinyaho's car. Mercedes engine. Yeah, it is definitely an engine problem there for Rinyaho. Not a great start to the season. He would have been hoping for a lot more than this. Challenging for the title last season. Is probably due to overtake Yol Rautavara in the all-time points list, and this is not how he would have wanted it to go. This could be the sign of a long season. He's just spraying bits of engine out everywhere. For the most part, he's not holding up too many people, but we'll see what happens as there goes Joseph Wright right around the outside. Oh, and there it goes. That Mercedes engine has just expired. He'll park it in the gravel trap and he'll be pushed back. The second retirement of this race, the second retirement of the season, courtesy of Tapio Rinyaho. Head back to the front and we can see it's absolutely a three-way battle for the lead now. Martin's holding on, but Sharp is right there. Coming down to turn 3 now. Oh, ducking and weaving. A lot of movement from both drivers, and Martins holds onto it for just a little while longer. Sweeping through turns 4 and 5. Just trying to hold on to this lead. Any moment now, I expect they'll be coming on. Yep, the yellow flag area, so no overtaking opportunities here for Lasky. That's probably helped Martins a little bit. The knowledge that Lasky wasn't going to do anything there has just helped him hold on a little bit, but he's got to be careful. Here comes Lasky now. Once again. Going to have a look down the inside. Strong defense there from Martins though, and he holds on to it once more. Sharp just actually struggling to get on right onto the back of the DTK. Into the first corner. See, the yellow flag has gone, so we're right on board here with Jack Lasky. Having a look towards turn 3, nothing happening. Stefan Byrne, a bit of a lockup. Running a new helmet design this season. An incredibly low BRT. But staying with, last time they were in the competition, they ran with quite a wide car there as well, so sticking with the design philosophy. See if it works out for them this season. Lasky now just trying to find anything. Martins once again on the defensive, running very narrow for the most part. Into a lot of corners. He's not exactly helping his cause. He's not maximizing everything. At the same time, Lasky, if he's not going to find a way past, nearly drawing level there, just having to back off a little bit. Could be the opportunity now down into turn 13 once more. Rob Sharp just not getting onto the back of this fight. That's what Rudy Martins really wants. Lasky now a long way down the inside. He's up alongside. Martins has gone off the circuit. Can he keep it together? Yes, he can. He gets back on, but it's now Lasky, Sharp, Rodriguez, and Sigalakis have all snuck past the Portuguese driver. It's gone horribly wrong there for him. But fantastically well there for Lasky. Exactly what he needed. He needs to now be pulling away from this fight. As Sigalakis has definitely made up the positions, he's made up the time that he needed to, and he is looking really good at the moment in 4th place. Have another look. Lasky's starting to line it up. Had a really good run there on Martins, and it looked like once again Martins was going to try to hold it around the outside. But he just made a little bit of a mistake there, and that's what has really cost him. He went a bit wider than normal. Tried to hold a little bit more speed, and it has backfired amazingly. So now Sigalakis, down at the first corner, a little bit of a touch there with Rodriguez, and Rodriguez has gone off. Nearly collecting Sigalakis as... collecting Martin, sorry. I'm used to seeing Sigalakis in this vehicle, funnily enough. Nearly gets Martins as he goes by. Holds on to 5th. McNamara can't find a way past. Damian's son in the 2nd challenger is there. Still shaping up to be a very good race for both 2KF1 and Challenger, and Apex in fact. At the moment they just need to catch up a little bit more. And here we go, Rob Sharp putting the pressure on Jack Lasky. It's what we like to see, and Lasky having to go defensive. He's used to seeing Martins doing that to him, and now all of a sudden he's doing that in really the same sort of way. Rob Sharp for Optima. Hasn't got a sticker on the car, it's just painted red. Doesn't even know what number he is at the moment. But he is giving it a good go, and he might be looking towards the podium if he can hold it all together. There's Sigalakis, this menacing black beast. Closing in on them all the time. 3 Martins. Led the race, led for a quarter of the race. Finds himself in 4th place. Being overly aggressive on the defense. Carlos Rodriguez be feeling a little bit disappointed. He found himself into 3rd. A little bit of a push from Sigalakis, and it's all gone downhill for him. Holding 5th currently, McNamara in 6th. Lower top 10 hasn't really changed. Bradford is doing pretty well, but he'll be expecting to pit soon. Dovizioso giving it a good go. Guardian is there. Saeed. It's all sort of stretched out a little bit on the backside. Joseph Wright with his bright purple helmet. Here is Allington still holding off. Totos, Danny, Engbrink. Utsa hasn't found a way past either. Rosella is there, and Harvey. That is the order. It is fantastic to see Apex. We were expecting them to not be on the grid at all this season, but they ended up finding themselves back there, and it's good for the competition. It's good for everyone. It's fantastic to see them back. Good looking car this year. One disappointing thing is probably that they haven't got the defending champion on board. But I seem to think they wouldn't have anyway. I think he may have had an agreement with Ravenwest to move there, so it's a shame not to see Yoel Rautavaara on the grid. It is good to see Apex there nonetheless. Nola Sigalakis will be fairly confident. I mean, Apex have had a pretty decent car for the past 2 seasons. Constructors in Season 3, Drivers Championship in Season 4. And they're definitely, on paper, they've got a pretty good car to start the season, and the qualifying effort of Sigalakis to get to 5th cannot be understated. That is a fantastic effort for him, and it has set himself up in this position. He went backwards at the start, don't forget. think he dropped down to around 8th. But he is definitely going for it now, up into 3rd. With Rob Sharp's Optima and Jack Lasky's DTK, the only things between him and another victory. And he will be starting to get into quite rare air there as well. If he's able to pick up a win with a different team. Trying to think, I know Ben Utzer has been able to do so. I seem to think he may have done it with 3 teams. The BRT, Razor and Apex. Nathan Corns has been able to do that as well. He picked up wins last season for Raven West, having won the title, the driver's title for Razor in Season 3. Fairly certain Nathan Corns is also the holder of the most race wins consecutive, or... yeah. And of course, he is also the first retirement of Season 5, so not going too well for him, all things considered. Here's Rui Martins. Whoop, big lock up there. Gets away with it though, and just keeps on keeping on. Just pulling away a little bit from Rodriguez, but losing a lot of ground to Sigalakis. I say that Rodriguez actually did pick up a little bit of time, probably due to that lockup. Back to Rob Sharp. Dropping off the back of Lasky, and it seems that now most of the top 5 are just content on putting in lap times. Create gaps, hold off people, whatnot. It's what seems to be occurring at the moment for Rob Sharp, but it's not going to be very long, and Sigalakis will be on the back of him, and that is where he'll have to start getting the elbows out. But Sigalakis, this Apex is not a narrow car, and he has shown he's not afraid to throw it around a little bit. Rob Sharp will have to be mindful of that. Lasky slowly pulling away at the front. There's a little bit of time there on Rob Sharp. Of course, Sharp isn't probably the biggest worry for him and the DTK team. It's arguably Sigalakis. I think it'd be very fair to say Sigalakis isn't only the worrying factor for, well, you know, both the drivers and the teams ahead of him. He's probably also the worrying factor for Apex. They've seen him already bump into one of his competitors. Here is a driver that isn't afraid to be physical, and that's worrying. If he's making an overtake for second, it could all of a sudden become 20th. And this field has stretched out a little bit, so they do have to be careful. At the moment, Lasky does not seem to have any worry at all. He is pulling away. Here is the second Optima, Omar Saeed. Oop. Struggling a little bit there through turn 14. Yeah, hasn't got too much to worry about behind him, but will have to be careful nonetheless. Lasky, however, must be feeling really good at the moment. Leading the first race of the season, doesn't seem to have too much of a worry. Rob Sharp, unfortunately for him, just doesn't seem to have the pace. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Sigalakis doesn't seem to have it either. Oh, and how about this? I think it's a transmission here for Joseph Wright. Oh, he's got to be careful. Yeah, Engbrink and Utsa very cautious. He's not parked it in a great spot there at all. Shouldn't be too hard for the marshals to get that one out of there, though. And indeed, Joseph Wright retires, and Raven West, well, they'll be packing up everything early today. As there we have Jordan Bradford, first car to be pitting. Scheduled anyway. And we'll find him at the back of the pack. Ree Martin's hardly in the same shot as those ahead of him. So here we have Totos, Danny. He'll be looking to pit. So all the rookies at the moment are the ones pitting. Now maybe Sigalakis. Maybe now is he making his move, slowly getting forwards. He's going to have to. He's pitting next lap. Where does he come out? Where does he fit in for the second half of this race? It does seem to be a good gap. He might be able to get in, get some clean air, and just go from there. Jack Lasky's a few laps away. The undercut could possibly be on here. At the same time, the overcut could be on as well, and that's where Lasky probably isn't in the best spot for that. Will arguably be Martin's. fueled to the brim. McNamara as well. Damien's son. Running quite heavy, and that might work out for them in terms of fresher tyres. It definitely won't work out in terms of fuel though, because they'll all end up being more or less the same. Rossello here. Pressuring Stefan Berner. Down towards turn 13, two very, very wide cars, and as you would imagine, nothing much really happening there. As Manolis Sigalakis has moved into the pit lane then. Rui Martins back into third as a result. Andrea Dovizioso pits. Omar Saeed pits. Ben Utzer will pit now. Race hasn't been going too well for him at the moment either. And start to see some of the gaps. Martin's quite a while behind Sharp there. Lasky pulling the weight to great effect. As we have ourselves a yellow flag. Well, we did briefly anyway. Ooh! One of our rookies this season, Totos Dani. Down towards turn 1. Ooh! Found Ben Utzer and went sliding across the track. There's a danger with this pit exit coming out right at the apex of turn 1. Oop! Utzer not really giving him much room there. He's on his merry way. He'll find himself the position as well. As that would have been Dani, no doubt taking the position. So ends up pretty well there for Utzer, as Rob Sharp mustn't be too far away from pit stop of his own. Maybe another lap. Martin's just not keeping up with this pair ahead of him. Rossello, here's Guardian into the pit lane. Berno is in there already. Matthew Allington into the top 10 along with Tim Engbrink. Daniel Harvey has made it back there as well. There is Sigalakis, as mentioned, in fresh air. Looking to run out the pace of this apex. Stefan Berner coming out there ahead of Omar Saeed. Bradford can't get past Guardian. Or can he? Looking down the inside here at turn 3. It's not going to work there. The Greek driver going to be able to hold his position. As, oh no, Ben Utzer. Same thing happened to him as what happened to Dani. Yep. Look to turn in, there was someone there. Around he goes. Should be fine. Oh, and Dani isn't going to try to sneak it up there. Fair enough, the rookie not feeling too confident. Down towards turn 3. Is he going to be able to find any way through? Ducks to the inside. giving it a red hot go, but I don't think it's going to be possible, and Utsa will hold on. Now surely for Rob Sharp, indeed it will be. Jack Lasky not too far away now either from a pit. We are halfway through this race, or about to be anyway.
Pit at the end of this lap.
Confirmation there. See, Martin's losing around half a second per lap on those two. Rossello looking for his pit soon. Allington quite heavily fueled now. Engbrink due to pit. Daniel Harvey was looking pretty set, but unfortunately for him, he has already pitted indeed. Hence why he is looking fairly good for them for his money, but yeah, he will have to pit again. Sigalakis is just enjoying having nobody around. He's 4.2 seconds down on Harvey though, and the feeling is he's probably going to be catching that up. So Lasky, through he goes. Rob Sharp will pit. I'll promote Martins. Rodriguez will pit as well. Here comes Rossello. Now Allington, quite a while back to him. Engbrink will come in any second now. Sigalakis that we're watching. Of course, he was only a second behind Rob Sharp. As he comes onto the main straight. There is Rob Sharp leaving the lane. Accelerating up, and well, he goes through turn 1. Holding the wide line. It's going to be close. Sigalakis is right there. He's definitely made up the time. Can he make the overtake now? Down towards turn 3. Ducks back to the inside. Rob Sharp giving everything he's got. Around the corner they go. Holding it around the outside is still Rob Sharp. Up the inside he is for the next corner. It'll be Sigalakis holding it around the outside there at turn 4. Now for turn 5 with a little kink. Surely no, it's still side by side. Can he get past Sigalakis? He's got the inside here, but I think Sharp has done just enough. He's been able to hold the racing line. And Rob Sharp, what a fantastic sequence of corners from both him and Manolis Sigalakis. He holds on to his spot, which is effectively second place. Does remain to be seen, however, and that all works out for them. Ree Martin's just fueled up so much. Here we go, Jack Lasky. Due to pit this lap. After that,
At the end of this lap.
there we have it. After that battle between the chasing pair of Sigalakis and Sharp, you'd imagine they would have been holding each other up just a little bit. And that should allow Jack Lasky the opportunity to just hold on to his lead a little bit more. He had stretched it out to near 3 seconds before Sharp pitted, but see what's going to happen to it now. Here is Sharp, having just snuck away there from Sigalakis, both fueled to the end. As is Rodriguez. Sharp leading those who have pitted. Engbrink has come out there. Hit a Rosella. Well ahead of Utsa and Danny, and that makes sense. Lasky is in then. Now leave the 2KF1s to take the lead. So in goes Lasky. Martins is past. McNamara is past. Sun is past. Rob Sharp, he's not even onto the main straight yet. Lasky popping out, and you're going to see this is going to be a massive lead for the DTK driver, surely. Coming around the first corner. He has his teammate there, both of them just holding position at the moment, though you've got to be careful. Harvey is looking eager to get past his just pitted teammate. Oh, he'll hold off just a little while longer, but Sharp, you can see that is the gap. What a massive gap it is now. Lasky out to, well, what? He has himself a 4.2 second lead. Might have been just held up a little bit by his teammate. Just having to keep an eye on him, but really well done there by Lasky and by DTK. This will now be McNamara pitting. And this could be important. He'll be leading in Damien's son as well. Allington probably a lap away from pitting. Lasky coming around. A lack of traffic has definitely helped Lasky here. As we're just seeing McNamara leave the pit lane now. Sharp goes past. There's Sigalakis, McNamara and Sun coming out. Here comes Rodriguez. Down towards the first corner. Whoop. Teammates have to give each other room. They're able to do so. He's now down towards turn 3. Rodriguez having a look there on McNamara. Nicely up the inside. Is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, he will. So Rodriguez taking the position back away from McNamara. Hasn't worked out there for the 2KF1 driver at all. Still yet to pit though. Daniel Harvey be pitting in this lap, and that'll be him well and truly out of the sequence. Matthew Allington will be doing so as well. Ree Martin's still arguably a lap, maybe 2. Burner would be expected probably to sneak back into the 10. Omar Saeed might be in for points here as well. Probably be Chris Guardian. Be going close. Here you go, Allington in. Comes back out ahead of Harvey still. Engbrink is there. Going to find a fantastic right smack bang in the middle of the corner. Down towards turn 3. I'm not sure there's going to be too much happening there, and indeed not. So Rui Martins leading the way once again for 2KF1. Holds a 17.5 second lead over Jack Lasky. Lasky is putting in fastest time for him. Going to be eating into this lead of Rui Martins, even though 2KF1 is, well, severely... we're talking 25 laps less worth of fuel, but those tyres definitely going off on him. Lasky making up plenty of time, but we will have to remember, there you go, 0.8 of a second through there. Martins will have less to fill. Doesn't have to put in as much fuel. That might help out. Less time in the pit lane and whatnot. But his speed at the moment is just really lacking. Rob Sharp trying to get himself onto the back of Lasky. It's not working out, and Sigalakis just seems to not have the pace in that car today. Here is Burner. Does find himself in the top 10. Omar Saeed as well. Riscardian giving chase, looking for points on debut. Jordan Bradford wouldn't mind a bit of that as well, but at the moment it only seems like Marcelo and Sun and Rodriguez are going to be up for it. Carlos Rodriguez. There's quite a bit of experience elsewhere, but new to Formula FG now. Here we go. Here is, for the lead, Jack Lasky. Looks like he's going to have this fairly well done. Martins hasn't even been dropped. Now only now will he start to trundle down the pit lane. Sharp is passed. Sigalakis is passed as well. Now he gets to the end. He can open up the taps on the engine. Rodriguez is going to be close here. Really close. And he's nearly already past, pulling alongside. Oh, he's just had to pull out of it a little bit. Opportunity down at turn 3. Both 2KF1s, both challengers. In the background, it seems like both the 2KF1s have held their positions from the challenge of the challengers. And that long stint by 2KF1 does not seem to have worked out for them. Martin's a long way back, nearly 8 seconds behind Sigalakis alone. Going to take a big effort or something else big happening, such as an engine explosion, for Martins to be entertaining the idea of a second straight podium here in Melbourne. Oops, Stefan Burner on the defensive there on Saeed. Rob Sharp giving chase, but slowly losing more and more time. It's just not working out. Yeah, for the Brit, can't find the pace to really challenge Lasky. Will no doubt be incredibly happy with the performance though. Wasn't too sure what to expect from Rob Sharp today. From Rob Sharp or the Optimus, but both him and the car have performed amazingly. Second on debut for the car. It's hearing rumours, Rob Sharp not fit, not ready. Could be looking better, could be feeling better about his chances. Didn't seem to be up to it, didn't seem to be ready for the race. Yet here he is in second place. Just imagine when he hopefully turns up next round, ready, set, and prepared. Same with Optima. Here they are, going along. The car They unveiled it. They were confident on getting some little parts added to it before the race here in Melbourne, and it just never happened. What a surprise. Sigalakis, just no pace in the car at the moment. I don't think he's losing too much time to Rob Sharp, but he's definitely not gaining any either. And as a result, he's arguably losing time to Lasky, who is pulling away. He is looking for this victory. He's looking for the first DTK win since Season 2. Has been an incredibly long time between drinks for the team. And there is the other DTK, setting the fastest lap of the race. Daniel Harvey finds himself good 15 seconds away from 11th, let alone points in 10th. Going to be incredibly difficult at this rate for him to find anything except maybe the fastest lap. Might be just a little bit extra income for them. Yeah, we can see Rob Sharp is just slowly building a small gap. Keeping Sigalakis behind. There is no challenge coming from the Greek driver. Lasky is continuing to pull away. Saeed having a little bit of a look. Hasn't worked out for him there onto Stefan Berner. Let's start heading into the last third of this race. Both the Apexes just seem to be... They need to find another little bit. Did have a handful of pundits talking up their chances ahead of this race, but just nothing seems to be coming about at the moment. Stefan Berner. Oh, a lot of moving around there from Saeed. Jinking from side to side. Maybe now has he got an opportunity down towards turn 13. You won't see it. We'll be watching the other Optima at the moment. Oh, nothing happening there for Saeed. Can't find his way past. Sharp, not doing too badly there. Oops, Saeed, here we go, having another opportunity there. Onto Berner there. Wow, they're right on the inside of the circuit, and Stefan Berner has gone off, and Saeed has gone around. We'll see if there was contact, or if both drivers have just ended up doing this independent of one another. I mean, never going to work for Saeed here. Oh, yep. Bit of a touch. Around he goes. And Stefan Berner ends up losing the position anyway. He loses it to Guardian instead. And he's going to be in danger of maybe losing a second position to Jordan Bradford. Flick spin there from Saeed, but that is not It's not helpful at all for him. He was in the points there for Optima. Now finds himself all the way back down in 19th position. Martin's here definitely giving it a good go to be able to catch up to Sigalakis though. He was up around 8 seconds after the pit stop. He's brought it down to 6 now. Seeing 130.3 from Sharp, 130.5 from Sigalakis, and a 130.2 from Martins. Slowly, Daniel Harvey is just sneaking forward. 131 though. Did find himself the fastest lap of the race a little bit earlier, but that pace is now just burnt away. Sigalakis, you get an idea? Oh, Martin's still just chipping away that lead. There's still 18 laps to go for Sigalakis. If he were to be losing 0.3 of a second per lap, he's definitely in danger. 17 laps now. He's definitely in danger of maybe having Martins right on the back of him and a little bit of slipstream, and you never really know what can happen. Here's Jordan Bradford. He's just fallen off the back of Stefan Berner a little bit there. Pace doesn't seem to be quite there for the new Falcon driver. Would have been feeling pretty good about himself, walking into an incredibly strong team. Saw them last season and Falcon just looked so good. Not to say that they're not looking good this season, but well, they might be struggling for a while anyway. Danny. Finds himself in no man's land at the moment. He would be enjoying the experience. Going to try to get whatever he can for the team. So with around a quarter of the race remaining, find Jack Lasky currently leading the Australian Grand Prix here for DTK. He's been expanding that lead out to nearly 5 seconds from Rob Sharp for Optima, one of the new teams on the grid this season. Manolis Sigalakis is currently holding down third. He's got a little bit of pressure from Rui Martins at the moment. Carlos Rodriguez not really being able to keep up with the Portuguese racer. And then it's more or less carbon copy 2KF1 Challenger teammates. McNamara and Sun giving chase. There is Rossello as well. Chris Guardian finds himself in a very happy spot at the moment. Currently holding down 9th for Fantastic. Was running just outside, however. Mistake from Stefan Berner. Colliding with Omar Saeed has so far gifted the Greek rookie 9th, and at the moment Berner won't be feeling too happy about that. He'll be looking to catch up. Jordan Bradford just struggling to keep up as he hunts for points. Davizioso as well. Allington there, the second manager driver. Rodriguez, of course, being the first one. Daniel Harvey giving chase. Has brought I'm pretty sure he's still currently holding the fastest lap of the race. Having made an early pit stop due to a loose wheel, I believe it was. Definitely one of the faster cars on the track at the moment is Daniel Harvey, but the wrong end to be able to do anything about it. Here's Tim Angbrink, new Keranen Motorsport team. He's ahead of Luke Rosella. Rebranded Razor team now, Profelli Racing. Ben Utzer, Totos Danny, and Omar Saeed after that mistake trying to overtake Stefan Berner right at the back. Damien Sun there going deep under brakes on James McNamara. Couldn't quite find it, however. Rob Sharp. Now Matthew Allington actually looking for the overtake here. Not sure if we're gonna see it or not, but James McNamara. Oh, big mistake there. Goes very, very wide. Damien Sun and Hugo Rossello back right on the back of him here. Going to be a tough one for McNamara. Still has 12.5 odd laps to the end. Doesn't seem like he really has the pace in the 2KF1 at the moment. He's going to be under pressure from those just behind him. Here's Rob Sharp. This Optima has just been working so well today. From the start. Was 9th up to 6th so early. By about turn 3, I believe. And that really set the basis for the entire race for him. Took his opportunities well, found himself into second place, hasn't made any mistakes. Just doing exactly what he needs to. Now then, as we get down to 12 laps to go. Rui Martin's really closing in here on Manolis Sigalakis. Rob Sharp, quite an interesting story, quite a career he has had. He's been through a few teams. He's been around a while. He's the sort of driver you don't mind having around. He's proven himself capable on more than one occasion. And a really good personality to have around as well. As for his career though, he's been to a few teams. He was at Falcon, picked up their first win way back when, Canada. I believe it was season 2. Might have been 3. I think it was 2 though. Did pick up a win there. Amazingly didn't last too much longer around at Falcon. Last season they had gotten rid of him. Oh, Omar Saeed. Totos Danny. Danny gonna have to go across the grass, but he comes back onto the circuit. No problems there for him. And Saeed's still behind. Another overtake not quite gone right there for Saeed. Rob Sharp was at Falcon. They got rid of him. They opted to pick up Tapio Rinyaho as the Finn left DTK. Rob Sharp left without a drive. Saw himself with a really good opportunity at NTEC. Season 2 champions were competitive in Season 3 as well. By Season 4 the team was well into decline. Didn't really work out for him at all. Now finds himself, well, after NTEC getting shut down, he found himself without a drive once more. Opted to move to Optima. Warjit Mishra convincing him to sign on with the upstart Indian team. And at the moment, seems to be absolutely the right choice. Rui Martins has closed into just 1.1 seconds behind Manolis Sigalakis. Indeed, for Rob Sharp, he did find himself having an incredibly successful Season 2. With a win in Canada, 2 further podiums as well for Falcon. Rather disappointing Season 3 and Season 4. Season back here with a tremendous opportunity. Be able to take the first podium at the first race for new Team Optima. He'll do it, and this could well be one of the more remembered podiums you'd imagine. Look at this car going around. There's bright red, and oh, Luke Rosella. Rosella has succumbed to some form of problem there. Sadly for us, we won't find out exactly what it is. Oh, Daniel Harvey having a little look there as well. Just caught that. puncture it is. That will bring the end of his race. Incredibly unfortunate for him. And it's now Sigalakis has Rui Martins right on the back of him. We weren't expecting to see this. To see the apex is under so much pressure. Here we are. A bit of a lock up there from Damien Sun. It's not too much of a problem though. He continues his chase of McNamara, but we're finding that some of these cars are just running out of puff. They're running out of steam. There's not enough in them. Back towards the front. Battle for third here. Martins having closed right up onto the back of Manolis Sigalakis. Around the final corner onto the main straight. That Porsche, the Apex, has a bit of pull to it, has a bit of guts. Martins, though, having a look down the inside. He's well onto the inside of the track. So close, running nose to tail. Gets out of there, and Martins definitely didn't get out of that as well as he could have. Oh, bit of a lock up there from Tim Engbrink. Had to find one of his old helmets, back from the Speedy days, in fact. And before this race. Does have a new one lined up, from what I heard. Sigalakis now. Bit of fresh air behind him. No doubt will be happy about that. As something's going on with his teammate. Hugo Rossello running in the top 10 at the moment. What seems to be the problem? It seems, I'm going to call it as electrical. This could give the opportunity. Jordan Bradford currently running in 11th. As indeed that car is slow and that car is ailing. Can he get it to the finish? Can he get it to the pits? Get it fixed up? It's an incredibly saddening moment here for the Frenchman. Was no doubt feeling really good about himself. Running in 8th, no real problems, wasn't in any danger. All of a sudden, that opportunity going to be taken away from him, and it wasn't in his control. He's into the pit lane, and Jordan Bradford now moves up into 10th place. For Falcon. The only Falcon still going at the moment, Tapio Rinyaho, having retired much earlier in the race. And Rossello will come back out in 16th. Has himself a lot of clear area ahead of him, so don't be surprised if he is going to show what this Apex can do. He has himself, what, about 6 laps? I'm expecting fastest lap from him, no doubt. Zoma Said does seem to have since got past Totos Danny. Hungarian currently running 18th. Lasky well in control. Oh, and Martins. Rui Martins just having missed that. Down the main straight we come. Martins looking up the inside. Both cars keeping it straight. Not much defense there coming from Sigalakis. That is it. Definitely the best way to put it. Not much defense at all. Martins is a long way up alongside already by now. Under braking, Sigalakis opting not to try to squeeze his fellow racer, and there you go. Martins through. Fairly straightforward pass. Finds himself now 10.5 seconds behind Rob Sharp. Showing tremendous speed at the moment, Rui Martins, compared to the other front runners. It's too far back. What could have been for him without that mistake earlier on, gifting the lead to Jack Lasky. Because now there is really no one at all. Chris Guardian, absolute no man's land. 7.5 seconds ahead, 5 seconds behind. Add another 4 seconds to 10th place, and you know, he really has nothing to worry about. Matthew Allington chasing points as a team owner. Not too many can say that they've been able to do that. There's Daniel Harvey maybe coming under a little bit of pressure there from Tim Engbrink, as we're down to 5 laps remaining here in the opening race of the season. Hugo Rossello. We're just going to follow him for a little bit here. Let's have a look at some of these split times. Oh, he's up, and he is up well at the moment. 9/10 of a second PB currently for the Frenchman. Probably would have preferred the points, but can he walk away with fastest lap in his first race? Around the final corner here. We already know he's at least 9/10 up at the second intermediate. To the line then, and the fastest lap of the race. Hugo Rossello in the new Apex Porsche Racer. It's a mean looking machine. And oh, Andrea Dovizioso spins around. What has he done here? Oh, he's been given a bit of a helping hand, it would seem. Matthew Allington down the inside here. Touch of wheels. Oh no, he went wide. Trying to hold it around the outside. Gets onto the curb and it just spins the car around. I'll give it a quick flick and he'll get going again. It's Tim Engbrink. Chasing down Daniel Harvey. Damien Sun still hounding, still putting the pressure onto James McNamara, who's trying to do the same to Carlos Rodriguez. 5th place in his debut race. Debut race for Rodriguez, for Damien Sun, for the Challenger team. And they're doing incredibly well. There's a lot of Cosworths in that view. 3 of them, in fact. I'm not sure we have had that many Cosworths on the grid ever. You can see the movers. Rob Sharp up 7. Chris Guardian up 10. Jordan Bradford up 6 as well. It's Martins and McNamara. The 2 KF1s are the only ones to have been dropped back in the top 10. Of course, there are a few others, of course, but they've dropped a lot further down. Sigalakis has already dropped nearly 3 seconds to Rui Martins. None of the others look like they're in any sort of trouble either. to the main straight once more. 3 laps remaining. Rui Martins finds himself back onto the podium. Not much else left to chase for. Just 3 laps remaining. Damien's son just fallen off the back a little bit of McNamara, and that'll mean that he won't have a realistic opportunity to the back end of the circuit. Matthew Arlington so close to points. Daniel Harvey, much the same boat. He's just pulled away from Tim Engbrink there, and Ben Utzer. Here comes Hugo Rossello. Look at this guy go. Fastest lap of the race and makes a very nice overtake there onto Ben Utzer. No real defense offered there from the German. That's fair enough. Not really going to achieve too much for 14th and 15th. Don't want to spin yourself off. Don't want to put yourself into a wall, and that's a very fair call. Two laps remaining now in this race. Daniel Harvey having just pulled away a little bit of a gap, quite a gap in fact. This battle between the Cosworth cars still raging on. Rodriguez seems to have McNamara's number. McNamara under pressure more from behind than what he's really exerting up ahead. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Rodriguez just trying to push the Australian back into the clutches of his teammate a little bit. Sigalakis just has not been able to show the pace capable of this car today. Had a fantastic qualifying session, but struggled here in the race on the Sunday. Rui Martins as well. Pole position. And then one mistake down here at turn 13. All goes horribly wrong for him. Rob Sharp, well, what can he say? No mistakes whatsoever. Just taking every opportunity as it comes to him. And looks set to bring home one hell of a result for both himself and for the Optima team. And Jack Lasky. He's never been able to win a race. Hasn't generally had the vehicles capable. Moves to DTK, former powerhouses of the competitions. Pretty sure they're still leading the overall points tally as well for teams. It was a big move for the Brit, and it seems to have paid off. Half a lap to go now for him. Going towards his first win, for DTK's first since Season 2. The days of Jack Hunsley seem so long ago. As Hugo Rossello taking another scalp, taking Engbrink on the final lap. But Jack Lasky, maybe, just maybe, this could be the start of something this season. Maybe, just maybe, to be able to say DTK are back, it's going to hold true. Jack Lasky takes his first win here in Melbourne.
Fantastic drive. Great job.
Rob Sharp coming across for second place. Rui Martins, third place for the second season in a row, this time at 2KF1. Manolis Sigalakis will come out of the final corner. possibly a bit disappointed with that one. 4th place will be for him. Carlos Rodriguez, as a manager, will just be able to hold off James McNamara. Damian Sun coming in 7th place as well. Chris Guardian, in his first race, will get 8th place. Stefan Berner, his first race for BRT, and he takes the only points for the team. Jordan Bradford, on his first outing for Falcon, he'll take 10th, the final point. Matthew Allington couldn't quite get there. Daniel Harvey, same for him. Hugo Rossello, fastest lap will be for him though. Tim Engbrink, in New Keranen. There's Ben Utsa, as he's actually found a problem, Tim Engbrink. Ben Utsa just behind. Dovizioso, unfortunate for him, spun around late. Omar Saeed got into a tangle. Final car on the track will be rookie Dunny. He'll come across, but this man, Jack Lasky, what an effort by him. So confirmation of the race results. Jack Lasky by 6.3 seconds from Rob Sharp. And Rui Martins in the 2KF1 taking 3rd place after starting from pole. Manola Sigalakis, Carlos Rodriguez, James McNamara, Damian Sun. Especially Rodriguez, McNamara and Sun. So close together. 0.7 of a second between all of them. McNamara actually getting close on the line, but just wasn't a long enough straight. Chris Guardian on debut for Fantastic will take 8th place. Stefan Berner. Must feel good for him to get points again. Moves to the BRT from Entech. Wasn't the greatest of days for him, but 2 points is 2 points. Jordan Bradford for Falcon, the only one still going at the end of the race. And they can walk away somewhat happy. Matthew Allington, Daniel Harvey. Close, but no cigar. Hugo Rossello, very quick at the end, but that's due to a late pit stop. Tim Engbrink actually probably had mechanical issues as he was coming across the line. Ben Utsa, close by, just less than 2 seconds away from Engbrink. Then Dovizioso, Saeed, and Danny. That is the end of that. Luke Rosella had a late puncture, unfortunate for him. Joseph Wright and Nathan Corns, both Raven Wests, retiring. And then Tapio Rinyaho, his engine giving up the ghost. Fastest lap, there we have it, to Hugo Rossello, well over a second ahead of Daniel Harvey. And Rui Martins there as well. Had some speed late in the race. Nowhere near the speed that was capable of the Apex. Have a quick look at how it moved and shaked, and that was the important moment right there. Rui Martins dropping down into 5th. Soon moving back up into 4th, but Lasky into the lead and never looked in trouble from there on in. Another one to talk about as well, Sigalakis. Started 5th, dropped down to 8th, soon started making his way up, but he just didn't have the speed. Ended up losing the position back to Rui Martins. Lower down as well, you can see Chris Guardian moving from a long way back along with Jordan Bradford, making the most of their opportunity. Stefan Berner and Damian Sun were both more or less on the bubble. That's not a bad effort from them. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're in for a hell of a season, that is for sure. Jack Lasky and DTK. Probably the most worrying result looking ahead for DTK. They get themselves ahead and they don't stop. And also very important to note that the next round is not next Sunday, I should say. It's not next Sunday, it is on Thursday. We have quick turnarounds. And yeah, there will be a quick one next week. However, it is important to note that obviously next Sunday we won't be racing. We'll be taking a break for Christmas. Just a one one round worth of break, so that'll just be a couple of days. We'll get back going ahead. I don't believe we'll be taking a break for New Year's, but we'll have to see what happens, because obviously it'll be New Year's. God knows what'll happen. With that, just one hell of an effort. And it's also getting late, so yeah, struggling to think. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Do hope that you enjoyed the race. Stay tuned for the more upcoming races. Do hope you'll watch then. Otherwise, from myself, Aidan Karanen, we're back, boys. Thank you and good night.